Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hey there, Michelle here. It's the Calm Mom Podcast. Thanks for being with us today. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you in the States who are celebrating Thanksgiving this week. And for those of you who aren't, we're still coming up on the holidays. So I think today's episode is going to be particularly helpful because we all know that being around family, the holidays, preparing, the cooking, the expectations, like all of this stuff can feel stressful. And our nervous system being activated can really happen at the drop of a hat, right? It can happen at any time, especially in social settings or situations where we just can't respond maybe how we want to, right? We want to scream, but we just can't do it. We want to throw something or hit something or roll our eyes or whatever it is. And that's just not appropriate or healthy or whatever. So in today's episode, I want to give you guys some tools to help discreetly calm your body when that anxiety or triggering comment or overwhelm or what have you starts to creep up. These techniques are subtle. That's the whole point of this episode. They're body-based ways that you can stay regulated, but they can be used under the radar and without making a scene. No one will even know. So we're going to cover why these tools are body-based, why that's so important. We're going to talk about why noticing your somatic cues and then catching yourself starting to become dysregulated, right? Early intervention, if you will, really matters. And then I want to give you guys 3 really effective techniques that you can try, 3 discrete ways that you can regulate your nervous system when you're with other people or in public. So the first thing I want to talk about is why we regulate our nervous system with body-based tools, right? If you've listened to the show for a while, if you've been with me, if you've worked with me, you know that our nervous system, especially when it's dysregulated, it responds best to physical cues, not mental ones, i.e., our body does not speak a verbal language. So if you are feeling triggered, activated, irritated, annoyed, frustrated, withdrawn, what have you, it's really hard to just talk yourself out of it. That's not how that part of our brain works, right? That part of our brain works through sensations and feelings. So when we can use body-based tools that directly target our autonomic nervous system, that allows us to return to calm so much more quickly than trying to think our way there or focus on some positivity or mindset tools or whatever else. So these body-based tools, you guys, are really key. I mean, especially in public settings, I think social situations can add this extra layer of tension or anxiety or self-consciousness or what have you. So rather than using mental strategies and mindset stuff, which can be really hard to focus on when you're stressed out, and I share that because I know body-based techniques instead offer really fast, subtle ways to shift from anxiety or overwhelm or irritation to calm. So when your body feels safe, your mind will follow. That's how it always works, right? Where your body leads, your mind will follow. Get your body feeling safe and regulated, your mind will follow. So these practices are physical, they're body-based, and they're great because they're going to work without requiring you to focus on something, remind yourself of something, expend mental energy. And it makes them ideal for moments when you're feeling or starting to feel activated and dysregulated. And that's where I kind of want to go next, is that it's so important that we start to grow in awareness of our own somatic cues of arousal. What does that mean? It means that our body is always communicating with us. Your body's always communicating with you. My body's always communicating with me. It's sending me messages constantly. This feels safe. I'm tired. That's that. I don't agree with that, or whatever it is, right? It's sending me messages through sensations. And when my body is starting to experience stress, my nervous system is starting to experience stress, I'm heading toward dysregulation. Things happen in my body, and I've gotten really good at catching them right when they start, right? Not 2 hours later, not 2 days later. I notice them fairly quickly. And the more that you can move toward that same level of awareness, the quicker you can start to intervene and use some of these practices. So if we think about a stoplight, right? Green light, yellow light, red light. When we're feeling regulated, we're in the green light zone. Everything is handy dandy. It's all going well. We're happy. Life feels easy breezy. When we start to become stressed, overwhelmed, activated, dysregulated, we enter that yellow zone, right? I'm starting to notice, my breathing is changing. My body temperature is changing. My muscles are tightening, right? I'm feeling tension in my neck and my shoulders and my jaw. Maybe my heart is starting to beat faster. Maybe I notice that I'm just feeling activated. I'm entering the yellow zone. The key is that you want to notice this stuff early so you can act on it in that yellow zone before things escalate to the red zone and you're in full on Hulk mode, right? Fight or flight is full on activated, or you're just completely shut down in a freeze response. So we all have different somatic cues. For me, it's tension in my jaw, neck, and shoulders right away. It's the first thing. Then my breathing changes. I notice that. And then my voice actually changes. So when I start to feel really angry and triggered in that sense, super frustrated, I start to speak slowly and quietly. And I think that probably cues my kids, or my husband's whoa, we better something's going on with mom, right? And maybe it's different for you, right? Maybe your voice rises and it gets louder when you start to get annoyed or frustrated. Maybe your heart starts to race. Maybe your palms get sweaty or your fists clench, or maybe you notice you start to have this pit in your stomach, or you get a headache, or however it shows up, right? Noticing those early signs of somatic arousal allows you to be more empowered to regulate your nervous system before it all becomes just so overwhelming and you're in that red light zone. So that's the power of early intervention, right? You're attuned to these early signs of dysregulation somatically in your body. You can use these subtle practices to bring your nervous system back to this calm state before things just go you're just seeing red. So I think that the better you understand your body's signs, the easier it's going to be to stay calm. And then the easier it's going to be to just feel and be and appear composed in high stress settings. You got to have body awareness. It's an essential part of managing your nervous system health. So let's talk about how we can go about doing this. Let's talk about some of these discrete ways that we can start to regulate our nervous system when we're with other people, or when we're in public. So I'm going to talk about each of these 3 techniques. I want to talk to you guys about how it works, because I know for me that's important, right? My analytical mind is yeah, but how does this work? Or why does this work? And then I want to give you some really practical handles so you can start to incorporate this ASAP. Okay, so the first one is breathing, and specifically box breathing or physiological sigh. These are, I think, 2 of my favorite breaths, and you can do them anywhere. And I talk about the physiological sigh all the time. Let's go through it, and then I want to talk about box breathing. So the physiological sigh works like this. And you really only need to do this usually 2 or 3 times to notice a shift in your nervous system. So the way that it works, let me explain it once, and then let's do it together once. So the way it works is you breathe in through your nose, deep, deep, deep breath into your belly, right? A deep belly diaphragmatic breath, full, full, full until it feels like your belly's full, your lungs are full, you're at capacity. You can't breathe in anymore. And then at the top of your breath, a really quick extra inhale through your nose, and then a long, slow, extended exhale through your mouth, right? And you can purse your lips like you're blowing through a straw, whatever it takes to really extend and lengthen that exhale. So let's do one together. All right, on the count of 3, 2, 1, you're going to breathe in through your nose, in, until it feels like your whole body is completely full. I can't breathe in anymore. And then a quick breath through your nose at the top. And now exhale through your mouth. You can purse your lips like you're blowing through a straw. Exhale, slow, lengthened, extended, deep exhale. Beautiful. Now you can try that a couple more times. You can pause the show and do it on your own time a couple more times and then come back. Or you can just listen for the next breath. But that's a really powerful tool that you can use anywhere that works so quickly, right? We're talking 15, 20, 30 seconds, depending on how many times you do it until you notice that shift. Your shoulders kind of dropping, tension releasing, right? Feels like your body's kind of melting, regulation returning to your body. So that's the physiological side. The second one is box breathing. Box breathing, imagine like a square, right? Imagine a box is going along, breathing along the 4 sides of a square, the 4 sides of a box in equal counts. So what does that mean? It means you inhale. Let's say you're doing 4 count box breathing. You inhale for 4 counts. You hold for 4 counts. You exhale for 4 counts. And then you hold for 4 counts. So it's 4 sides of the box, 4 breaths. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, each for 4 counts, right? And you can lengthen this as you grow in your ability, in your diaphragm, right? To hold your breath and extend the inhale and extend the exhale. But if you can start with 4, I think that's great. So let's try one together. You're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. And then you would go again. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and so on, right? And you can do this. You can set a timer, or I'm sure you can find something on YouTube, like a box breathing exercise or routine. Do it for a minute, right? Do it for 2 minutes and watch the difference in the state of your nervous system. Both of these methods, you guys, the box breathing and that physiological sigh, they trigger your parasympathetic nervous system. That slows your heart rate. That calms your mind. It's easy to do anywhere without anyone noticing. So anytime you start to feel your breath start to quicken, or you notice whatever other somatic cues, right? Your chest tightening, your mind starting to race, those are subtle signs. And these breathing techniques, people won't even notice around you. So you can practice these at home. You can practice them when you're alone so that they come more familiarly. Is that a word? When you're around other people, when you're in public. But this is a great place to start. So that's number 1. Number 2, the second discreet way to regulate your nervous system if you're in public or around people is drinking a warm beverage. Did you guys know that drinking something warm like a tea, coffee, hot water, that engages your senses, i.e. it takes you out of your head and the spiraling and the ruminating and the running through all the different, I should have said this, or I could have said that, or I can't believe whatever it is. It takes you out of your head and all of those thoughts, and it brings you into your body. You can engage these senses, which provides comfort, right? A level of comfort through the warm temperature, through these tactile sensations, holding a warm beverage, sipping a warm beverage. It engages our afferent vagus nerve fibers. And that signals what to our brain? It signals safety to the brain. So the warmth, just that temperature, that warmth, it's soothing, right? That's why we love taking warm baths, warm showers, drinking warm coffee or warm tea. It soothes our body, it soothes our mind, and it'll help shift your nervous system out of stress. So this one's so easy to do, right? You're in a social gathering, like you're at a coffee shop, you're in an office meeting, anywhere that a warm drink is socially acceptable, it's so easy to obtain. Maybe you even bring your own, right? Bring a thermos of warm tea or coffee with you so it's available when you need it. And every time you take a sip, like just notice, be mindful, right? Enjoy it slowly. Focus on the warmth, focus on the comfort it can bring. And it's actually going to cause this physiological response in your body that signals to your brain, we are safe, this is good, and it will help you regulate and calm down. And then number 3, the last one I want to teach you guys is called orienting. Orienting is also a mindfulness practice. Orienting is a great grounding practice. So it's actually a practice of looking around you at your surroundings and noticing the things that just are there and feel neutral or safe, right? Noticing what you're sitting on, noticing the art on the wall, right? Noticing the plant in the corner or the snow outside or whatever it is. Orienting is powerful. This one felt to me like, I don't know. Like, I guess I was just so skeptical about this. Like how can noticing the position of my body or noticing, what things that I'm hearing or smelling, how can that help calm my nervous system? It does, because here's what happens. It brings you into the present moment. So it anchors you to what's going around you, right? In the physical, rather than what's going on in your head and the looping and the ruminating and the internal stressors. It pulls your attention away from the anxiety. It pulls your attention away from the overwhelm, and it grounds your nervous system. So this is so easy, you guys. Excuse me. When you're with other people, in a meeting, at a dinner, anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, just let your eyes kind of wander naturally and take in the details around you. And you can practice this anytime, even when you're feeling calm and you're like alone or you're just at home. Just start looking around and noticing small details, right? Note you can do, maybe you've heard of like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a great place to start with orienting. Name 5 things you can see and then go on to another sense, right? What are 4 things I can hear? What are 3 things I can touch? What are 2 things I can smell? Just look around, observe these small details, and then really notice how your body responds, right? And that's going to make orienting more natural, especially when you're in more activating situations or experiences or environments. I think that's super helpful. So how can you start to incorporate these? Guys, these are simple, right? And here's the thing. Regular practice builds familiarity. So the more you practice these techniques when you're feeling calm, when you're feeling grounded, when you're feeling present, when you're in the green light zone, the easier it's going to be to use these when you're in the yellow or like verging on the red, right? So maybe choose one of these and start to like play around with it, right? What does it do to my body? What do I notice when I do this physiological sigh? And then maybe I can set a reminder in my phone, or maybe I can habit stack it and do it, when I'm having a meal. I can sit there and do a few of these breaths before I eat or after I eat, just to get your body in the rhythm of what it feels like to do these, right? And your body becomes more efficient then in regulating, and then it's easier to use these practices when you're feeling triggered in these high stress moments. So just start to incorporate some of these. Add reminders in a way that doesn't feel stressful. Add reminders in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming, and like just one more thing to do. So if your phone is already a trigger for you, maybe don't add a reminder on your phone. Maybe just keep like a small cue, like make your tea in the morning and then keep it in a thermos, or put a Post-it note that says orient or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on your screen, and like do it throughout the day. Whatever it is, just start to practice using these techniques in a calm setting first so that they feel comfortable, right? Practice orienting at the coffee shop, practice orienting while you're waiting in line at the grocery store, check out, and just notice what starts to happen, because it's these small, consistent practices, you guys, that builds the foundation of calm, of regulation, right? These techniques don't require a ton of time, and they're perfect. They're so discreet. They're perfect for when you're with other people. So the box breathing, the physiological sigh, a warm beverage, and then orienting, all accessible ways to manage stress. If you're looking for more support, managing stress, building resilience in your nervous system, regulating your nervous system, go ahead and check out the link in the show notes for my Heal Your Burnout private podcast. 5 episodes, you guys, super tangible, super actionable. You're going to learn my 6-step framework to heal from burnout. So if you've been feeling edgy, irritable, exhausted, withdrawn, overwhelmed, if you've been having physical symptoms of nervous system dysregulation, so maybe you've been having trouble sleeping or gut issues or muscle tension, autoimmune conditions, check this out. It's going to be super helpful for you. And then finally, if you've learned anything in this episode or any episode of the Calm On podcast that has been helpful for you, that has helped you to regulate your nervous system and manage stress, I would be so grateful if today would be the day that you left the Calm On podcast a 5-star rating and a short review. You just need to scroll down in your podcast app where it says leave a rating and a review. Click the 5 stars, leave a short review, even just a sentence or two, something you've learned, something you like about the show. Share it with a friend. I'm just so grateful because that's really the way that we can get this show in front of other women. And that is how we spread the mission, right? More regulated women running this world. Holy moly, do we need it in this day and age. So I'm just so grateful for all of you. Have a good day. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.